The most dangerous birds and unbelievable birds that you have never seen before. Watch it.
Abi,
I need you to stop whatever you are doing for the next 20 minutes.
In the presence
Seriously.
of the Lord.
in the presence of the Lord,
Because what you are about to hear is going to make
And
you
the
question
entire
everything you thought you knew
Presents here
about
as
birds.
a witness.
You probably think of birds as pigeons,
Presents
maybe a
here
parrot,
as a
a
witness.
chicken if you are feeling adventurous. But nature,
Join my life to
nature has been
the right
absolutely cooking
Join
for the
my
last
life
66 million years, and some of the results are so bizarre, so jaw-dropping, so hilariously over the top that you are going to pause this video and Google them
Join my
yourself.
life.
I promise.
Jarvis.
We are talking about birds that look like they were designed by someone who had never seen a bird before. Birds with superpowers. Birds with personalities that frankly put most humans to shame. 20 of them. Let's go.
Join my life to Amadi
You know how some
Elizabeth
creatures just have one thing they
Alright.
do that is so
As
extra
my
it is
wedded
almost hard
wife.
to believe?
as my wedded
The
wife,
magnificent
in
frigate
covenant
bird
of
inflates
marriage.
a balloon
covenant
from
of
its
the
throat.
marriage.
In covenant
During breeding
of
season,
marriage.
the male
In
develops a
covenant
bright red
of the
pouch of
marriage.
skin under
I
his
lay
bill.
down my life
He then
for you.
fills it with air until it balloons out to the
I
size
lay
of a
down my
basketball,
life for you.
throws his head
That the
back,
two
spreads
of
his
us may
enormous
come
black
together.
wings,
That
which
the
can
two
span
of
over
us
7
may
feet,
come together.
and rattles
In
his bill
one.
like a drum.
In one
New entity
new entity
under the
He will
lordship
hold
of
that
the Lord
inflated
Jesus
pouch for up to
Christ.
20
Under
minutes
the
while
Lord-
females fly overhead. It is mesmerizing.
under the
It looks like a
lordship
prop
of
from a
the Lord
fantasy
Jesus
film.
Christ.
And apparently,
Towards the
it works,
fulfillment.
because frigate birds have been doing this for a very long
Towards the
time
fulfillment.
and showing
Towards the
absolutely no
fulfillment.
signs of
Of
stopping.
every single purpose of
Fun
God
bonus fact,
every
frigate
single
birds are
purpose
also legendary aerial
for our
pirates.
lives.
They harass other seabirds mid-flight,
For our
forcing them
lives.
to
For
drop or
our
regurgitate their food,
I promise
which
to
the
have
frigate
you-
bird then catches
I
before it
promise
hits
to
the
have
water.
you,
Hold
They
you,
live a life that is
hold you,
simultaneously
love
deeply
you,
romantic
love
and
you,
profoundly
cherish
chaotic.
you,
cherish you,
encourage you to our days
This bird looks
and
like it wants to
ministry on
speak to your
earth
manager.
fulfilled.
to our
The shoebill
days
stork is not playing around.
on air to
Standing
fulfill.
nearly 5 feet tall with a bill that looks like someone glued a Dutch wooden shoe to the face of a
According
velociraptor,
to God's holy
this
law
bird
and
is genuinely
ordinance.
prehistoric
According to
looking.
God, holy Lord,
And that is because it
and
basically
ordinance.
is.
This is my
Shoebills
solemn
have been
vow.
around in some
This is
form
my
for millions of
solemn vow.
years, and honestly, it
Solemn
shows.
vow.
Here is what makes them truly unsettling in the best possible way. They barely
For our
move.
lives.
Shoebills are known for standing completely,
For our lives.
unnervingly
For
still
our
for
lives.
hours. Not
promise
because they
to
are
have
sleeping,
you.
but because they are hunting. They wait
Hold you.
and wait
Hold you,
and
Love
wait.
you.
And then, with a lunge so
cherish you,
fast and
cherish
powerful
you,
that it has been
encourage
called
you,
one of the most violent
encourage
strikes
you,
in the bird
to
world,
our
they snatch
days
lungfish,
and
baby
ministry on
crocodiles,
earth
and Nile
fulfilled.
monitor lizards
to
right
our
out of the
days
water.
on
Baby
ministry on
crocodiles.
air to fulfill.
Let that marinate.
fulfilled.
And if you ever find yourself face to face with one, which by the
According
way
to
can
God's
happen
holy
because
law
shoe
and
bills are
ordinance.
surprisingly okay with humans being nearby, they will look at you with those enormous yellow
This is my
eyes,
solemn
lower their head
vow.
slightly,
This is
and
my
give you a
solemn
slow,
vow.
deliberate bow.
Solemn
Researchers
vow.
believe this is a
This is my
greeting
solemn
gesture.
vow.
You bow
Right.
back, you always bow back.
Soul member.
Alright, change of
Out
vibe.
of the bride.
We are going from nightmare fuel to pure art.
All right.
The superb
I
bird of
am your
paradise
government.
is, without any exaggeration, one of the most visually spectacular
presence
creatures
of-
on this planet.
In the presence of
The male,
In the
because of
presence of
course
the
it is the male,
And the entire
has developed a courtship
congregation.
display
And the
so
entire
insane that when
congregation
footage first went
presents
viral
here
online,
as a witness.
people genuinely thought it was
Presents here as a
CGI.
witness.
Here is what
Presents
happens.
here as a witness.
The male finds a
Presents
nice spot on the
here
forest
as a
floor
witness.
and clears it like he is
Join
prepping
my
a
life
stage.
to your
Then,
wife's
when a
name.
female
Join my
arrives,
life
he
to-
spreads his iridescent blue-green chest feathers and his cape of velvety black feathers simultaneously, creating a
Join
perfect
my-
oval shape that transforms
Join
his
my
entire
life.
body into what looks like a smiley face. A glowing, electric blue smiley
A
face,
government name.
just
All right.
floating there in the forest. He then begins to hop, rhythmically, back and forth, with the precision of someone who has been rehearsing this routine
Join
his
my
entire
life.
life. Which, to be fair, he has.
All
The
right.
female watches,
As my wedded
unimpressed
wife,
usually.
As my wedded
She
wife.
flies away.
in covenant of
He does it
marriage,
again
In
tomorrow,
covenants of a marriage.
and the next day,
covenant
and the
of
day
a
after
marriage.
that.
In covenants
Honestly,
of a
the
marriage.
male superb
lay
bird
down
of
my
paradise
life for
is
you.
one of the most resilient creatures on
I
earth,
lay down
just
my
not for the
life
reasons you would expect.
That the two of us may
I
come
want to tell you
together
about the
That
worst
the two
bird in
of us may
Antarctica.
come together
in one.
in one.
not the most
new
dangerous,
entity,
not the most impressive.
under the lordship of
The
the Lord
worst.
Jesus Christ.
The snowy sheathbill is the only land bird that lives in Antarctica year-round. It is completely white. It looks like a pigeon that got a little
Towards the
lost.
fulfillment.
It has no webbing between its toes, which means it cannot swim. It has no specialization for
Every
catching
single
fish.
purpose of God.
So how does it survive? It steals.
For
It eats
our
penguin
lives.
eggs when parents are not watching.
For
It eats
our
penguin
lives.
chicks. It eats penguin excrement.
Promise to have
It eats
you.
seal placentas after pups are born. It steals food from penguin mouths
Love
mid-swallow. It harasses and distracts penguins while other sheathbills grab their food. It is a con artist, a scavenger, a pirate, and frankly, a chaos agent in a white coat. It has no natural predators because literally nothing wants to eat it. It lives rent-free in one of the harshest environments on Earth, surviving entirely on the misfortune and bodily byproducts of other animals. Is it admirable? I mean, kind
This is
of.
my solemn
It found a
vow.
niche and it owns that niche completely. It is, in its own way, a survival genius, a very gross survival genius.
Now
This
the,
is my soul member.
now the bride.
Picture the most lovable, most hapless, most utterly unprepared for the modern world creature you can imagine.
All right. I
Now give it feathers. The kakapo is the world's largest parrot. It cannot fly. It smells like a floral arrangement, specifically described as musty sweetness, which sounds lovely until you realize that predators can literally sniff it out from a distance, which is a big problem for an animal that is already not flying away from anything. When threatened, the kakapo's defense strategy is to freeze completely, to become very, very still and hope for the best. This worked perfectly in New Zealand before humans arrived with cats and rats and stoats. It has worked considerably less well since then. There are only around 250 kakapos left in the world. Every single one of them has a name. Conservation teams track them individually, celebrate their birthdays, and get genuinely excited when one of them successfully mates. There is a kakapo named Sirocco who became so comfortable with humans that he was made an official spokesbird for New Zealand conservation, and once famously tried to mate with a BBC cameraman's head while Stephen Fry watched and narrated. That video exists.
He's
getting a bit frisky. Do you think it is he's actually attempting a sort of mating
The two of us
He
will
is.
come together.
Look, he's so happy.
You are welcome. The kakapo is critically endangered and people are fighting hard to save them. Because once you learn about a kakapo, you would do almost anything to make sure they stay on this earth.
Toward the fulfillment.
Towards the fulfillment
Toward the fulfillment.
of every
Okay,
single
pop
purpose
quiz.
of God.
Of
What if a
every
bird
single
smelled like
purpose.
cow manure?
For our
Would you still want to
lives.
learn about it? Yes?
For our
Good.
lives.
Because the
our
Hoatzin is
Promise to
fascinating.
have you.
This bizarre mohawk-wearing, red-eyed Amazonian bird is sometimes called
Love you,
the stink bird, and
cherish
it earns
you,
that name
cherish
honestly.
Encourage you.
Its digestive system works like a cow's,
our
fermenting
days
leaves in a specialized
of
crop,
ministry on
which
earth
produces
are
the rather
fulfilled.
pungent aroma that follows it everywhere. Because of this smell, almost nothing hunts it. The Hoatzin has essentially weaponized being disgusting,
According to
and
God's
honestly,
holy law and ordinance.
respect.
According to
But
God's
here is the
holy law
part that
and
will genuinely make your brain short-circuit.
This is my solemn
Hoatzin
vow.
chicks are born with claws on their wings. Not feet,
Solemn
wings.
This is
They
my
use these
soul
claws
member.
to climb trees before they can fly.
Now the-
And if they fall into the water, which happens, they can swim and then claw their way back up the tree. This is not a modern adaptation. Wing claws are a feature of some of the earliest bird fossils, like
I,
Archaeopteryx,
your government.
from 150 million years ago. The Hoatzin chick is
In the
essentially
presence
giving
of-
you a live demonstration
of
of
the
what
Lord.
the dinosaur to bird transition may
The
have looked
entire
like.
congregation
You are not watching a
And the
bird
entire
climb a tree.
congregation
You are watching deep
present
time.
here as a witness.
Present yes as a witness.
Present here as a witness.
Present yes as a witness.
Join my life to your whitening.
Stop me
Join
if you have
my
heard
life
this
to-
one. A bird walks into a forest and becomes the forest. The superb lyrebird of Australia is, without question, the greatest vocal mimic on Earth. Males sing to attract females, which is normal.
Augmenting.
What is not normal is what they sing. Lyrebirds have the ability to replicate almost any sound they hear with startling accuracy. Chainsaws, camera shutters,
Join my life to
car
Amadu
alarms.
Elizabeth.
All right. As my wedded
other
wife.
bird species,
As my
dozens
wedded
of them.
wife.
layered together in a single performance. A lyrebird in a zoo in the 1930s reportedly learned to imitate the sounds of flutes and hammers from construction on a nearby building. It then taught those sounds to other lyrebirds in the wild, and that cultural memory of man-made sounds was passed down through generations for decades. There is something both beautiful and deeply melancholy about that. A bird singing the sounds of the old forest. Except the old forest is gone, and what the bird remembers is a chainsaw. Their tail feathers are shaped like the ancient instrument they are named after. When a male fans them out during his song, swaying, dancing, filling the forest with a symphony of stolen sounds, it is one of the most extraordinary wildlife moments you will ever witness.
I promise to have you.
I promise to have you,
Hold you.
love you,
Cherish you.
cherish you.
Encourage
There is a
you.
bird that hunts snakes by kicking them in the face repeatedly. The secretary bird walks the African savanna on extraordinarily long legs, looking like the result of an eagle somehow mating with a crane, in the best possible way. It has a dramatically plumed crest that gives it the look of a Victorian scholar with a quill pen behind each ear, which is apparently where the name secretary comes from. When this bird finds a snake, even a venomous one, even a cobra, it stomps on it with a force of up to 5 times its own body weight, delivered at a strike speed so fast, the snake barely has time to react. It also pins snakes with one foot and rips them apart with its hooked beak. It will kick rodents, lizards, and insects the same way. The secretary bird essentially turned its legs into biological hammers and then just walked around looking absolutely regal while using them. It soars like an eagle. It walks like a runway model. It fights like a martial artist. It is everything.
Present here as a witness.
Present here as a witness.
Join my life to your wife's name.
We need to talk about the bird that is better at interior design than most humans I know. The male Vogelkop bowerbird, who is himself a dull, brownish, frankly unremarkable looking bird, builds a structure called a bower, and calling it a nest would be a colossal insult to what this animal actually creates. He constructs a hut, a literal thatched hut, sometimes over 3 feet tall, with a front lawn of carefully curated objects. He collects and arranges colorful berries, flowers, beetle wings, stones, and any other bright objects he can find, sorting them by color. He creates contrast. He adjusts placement based on what he observes about female reactions. He has been documented removing objects that were not working and replacing them with better choices.
I laid down my life for you.
He is editing, he is making aesthetic decisions, in the forest, as a bird. Researchers have actually tested bowerbirds by sneaking in and rearranging their collections while they are away. The birds notice, they fix it, every time. The bower is not a nest, by the way, it is a stage. The female visits, judges his collection and his hut, and either mates with him or leaves to check out other bowers. If she leaves, he goes right back to his collection and starts making improvements. He does not give up, he just keeps decorating.
For our life.
I promise to have you.
I promise to have you,
Hold you.
Let's take the energy somewhere a little more
Cherish you.
intense.
Encourage you.
The harpy eagle is the largest, most powerful eagle in the Americas, and it looks like it was designed by someone who was asked to create the most intimidating bird physically possible. Its face has a gray facial disc that focuses sound like an owl's, surrounded by a dramatic ruff of feathers that frames it like a crown. Its eyes are deep, searching, and frankly a little judgmental. Its talons are the size of grizzly bear claws. Let me say that again. The rear talons of a harpy eagle, up to 5 inches long, are comparable in size to the claws of a grizzly bear. It uses them to snatch monkeys and sloths directly from the forest canopy while in flight. Full-grown howler monkeys, animals that weigh 15 to 18 pounds, snatched from a tree while the eagle is moving. The harpy eagle flies through dense rainforest at speed because it has evolved a shorter wingspan proportionally, allowing it to maneuver between trees like a fighter jet. It is a precision killing machine dressed up in the most dramatic feathers you have ever seen. Indigenous peoples throughout its range have included it in mythology and sacred traditions for centuries. Looking at one, you understand why immediately.
Join my life.
Right. We need a palate cleanser. Something a bit more fun. May I introduce the Inca tern, a seabird of the Pacific coast of South America, and the only bird on this list that appears to be sporting a very sophisticated mustache. These steel grey birds have bright red-orange beaks and feet, vivid yellow patches at the corners of their mouths, and a pair of long, elegant white feathers that curl away from each side of the face like a beautifully maintained Victorian gentleman's mustache. The longer the mustache, the healthier the bird. Females actually prefer males with fuller, more elaborate mustaches, which is, objectively, a very reasonable preference. They form pair bonds for life and raise chicks together. They have been photographed looking like distinguished elderly professors attending an academic conference. Inca turns, elegant, mustachioed, perfect.
Towards the fulfillment.
Toward the fulfillment.
Towards the fulfillment.
Toward the fulfillment.
Of every single
Here is a bird
purpose
that
of
has
God
solved a problem no other bird has figured out how to solve.
for our lives. For our lives.
For our
Bones.
life.
I promise to have
Other
you.
vultures and scavengers get to the carcass first, they eat the meat, the organs, everything soft. By the time the bearded vulture arrives, all that is left are the bones. And you know what? That is exactly what it came for. The bearded vulture's diet is roughly 90% bone marrow. It has stomach acid strong enough to dissolve bone completely. It will carry large bones high into the air, sometimes nearly 500 feet up, and drop them onto rocks below to shatter them, then swoop down and eat the fragments.
This is my solemn
It does this repeatedly until the bone is small enough to swallow. It has invented tools from its own body in the sky. And then there is the coloring. Adult bearded vultures have pale white or cream underparts, except that they actively dye themselves. They find iron oxide-rich soil and water and rub it all over their feathers, turning themselves a deep, rusty orange red.
In the presence of
Researchers believe this
in the presence
signals
of the
health
Lord,
and dominance. A bird that
and the
paints
entire
itself
congregation
to look stronger with rust. I cannot
presents
stress how
here
much
as
this
a
bird
witness.
should not be real.
Present yes as a witness.
present here as a witness.
Present here as a witness.
Join my life to your wife's name.
Join my
You know how
life to-
sometimes something is so weird it circles all the way back around to being adorable? The Potu.
Join
This
my-
nocturnal bird is a master of
join my
camouflage.
life.
During the day, it perches on a broken tree stump or branch, tilts its head upward, closes its enormous eyes to slits, and becomes, for all intents and purposes, a piece of wood. It is virtually undetectable. Its bark-patterned feathers blend so perfectly that even experienced naturalists have walked right past them.
Amaju
And then
Elizabeth.
it opens its eyes.
Alright.
And those
As my
eyes are
wedded wife.
enormous,
As my
wide,
wedded wife.
golden,
In
deeply
covenant of
haunted
marriage.
looking.
In
The
covenant
expression of
a
an animal
marriage.
that has seen
covenant
some
of
things
a marriage.
and processed
In
none of
covenant
them.
of a marriage.
The Potu
I lay
call,
down my
which
life
it does
for
at
you.
night from its perch, is a
I
mournful,
lay down my
descending
life
wail
for
that
you.
sounds like
That
someone
the two
softly
of us
sobbing
may
in the
come
forest.
together
That the two of us may come
in one
together
new entity
in one. New
In some
entity.
cultures,
under
it is
the
considered a
lordship of
bad
the Lord
omen.
Jesus Christ.
In other
Under the
contexts,
Lord-
it sounds like a sad cowboy song without the guitar.
Under the lordship
On the
of
internet,
Lord Jesus
Potus have
Christ.
become beloved for their
Towards the
expression,
fulfillment.
which is best described
Towards
as
the
existential
fulfillment.
Towards the
uncertainty.
fulfillment.
There is an
Towards the
entire genre of Potu
of every
memes
single
because this
purpose
bird
of
simply
God.
looks like it
Of
has
every
feelings about
single
being a
purpose.
bird. And who among
For
us
our
really
lives.
cannot relate to that?
For our lives.
For our life.
I promise to have you.
I promise to have you.
Hold you.
Hold
The
you,
cassowary is the
Love
most
you,
dangerous bird
love
alive.
you,
Cherish you.
Full stop.
cherish you,
It is
Encourage
flightless,
you,
standing up to
encourage
6
you
feet
to
tall,
our
with brilliant blue and red skin on its neck and head, and a large bony casque
our
rising from the
days
top of its
on
skull like a
ministry
helmet.
on air to
It looks
fulfill
like someone took a
I'll
dinosaur,
fulfill.
gave it feathers, added a medieval weapon, and then turned it loose in the
According to God's
rainforest.
holy law and
The casque is
ordinance.
still not fully
According to
understood.
God's holy law
It may
and
help the bird push through dense
ordinance.
vegetation or
This
amplify
is my
low-frequency
solemn
sounds,
vow.
or both.
my life for you.
What
That
is
the two of
understood
us
are
may
its
come
feet.
together
The
That the
cassowary
two of
has
us
3
may
toes
come
on each
together.
foot.
in one.
The inner toe
In
has a
one.
dagger-like
New
claw
entity.
up to 5
New
inches long.
entity.
Under the
When
lordship
threatened,
of the
it can
Lord
deliver a
Jesus
kick
Christ.
with enough force
Under
to
the
disembowel a
Lord-
person. This is not hypothetical.
Under the
It has
lordship
happened.
of the Lord Jesus Christ.
And yet,
Towards
cassowaries
the
are one of the
fulfillment.
most important animals in their ecosystem.
Towards the
They
fulfillment.
eat fruit,
Towards the
hundreds of
fulfillment
species of
of
fruit,
every single
and pass the
purpose of
seeds
God.
intact through
Of
their
every
digestive
single
systems,
purpose.
spreading them across vast
our
areas of
lives.
rainforest. Some plants can
For
only
our
be
lives.
germinated by
For
passing
our
through a
lives.
cassowary.
I promise
If
to have
cassowaries
you,
disappear,
I promise
entire
to
plant
have
species
you,
go with them.
Would you?
They are
hold
not
you,
just an animal.
Love you.
They are a
love
service
you,
the whole
cherish
forest
you,
depends on.
cherish you,
Do not
encourage
approach
you,
a cassowary,
encourage you,
but also please
to
protect
our
them.
days
Both things
and
can be
ministry
true.
on earth are fulfilled.
to our days on ministry on air to fulfill.
are fulfilled.
There are birds that are beautiful, and
According
then
to
there is the
God's holy law
resplendent
and
quetzal.
ordinance.
The male has an emerald green back and head, a crimson red chest, and
This
tail
is my
feathers
solemn
called
vow.
upper tail coverts that grow up to 3 feet long during
Solemn
breeding
vow.
season.
This is my
When it
solemn
flies, those tail feathers stream behind
Now,
it
this is
my
in long,
solemn
flowing
vow.
curves of iridescent green.
Now the
It has been
bride
described as looking like a flying jewel, like a living flame of green and red. The quetzal was considered sacred by the
Alright,
Maya and
I
the
your
Aztec.
government name.
Quetzal feathers were more valuable than gold. The bird was
In the
associated
presence
with
of-
Quetzalcoatl,
in the presence of
the
the
feathered
Lord.
serpent
in the
deity,
presence of the Lord,
and killing one
The
was
entire
punishable by death.
congregation
and the
To this
entire
day, it is the
congregation
national bird of
presents
Guatemala,
here as
its
a
image is on the
witness.
flag,
presents
and the
here
national
as a
currency is
witness.
named after it.
presents here as a witness.
The quetzal
Presents
lives in
here
cloud
as a
forests,
witness.
those misty,
Join my
magical
life
mountain
to
jungles.
Your wife's name.
It is
Join
notoriously
my
difficult to
life
spot.
strength.
People travel thousands of miles just for a glimpse of one. And those who see one in the
Join
wild
my-
consistently say the same thing.
Join my
No
life.
photograph, no description,
Service.
no documentary footage does it justice. Some beauty has to be earned. Remember what I said earlier about New Guinea birds of paradise being utterly unhinged?
Join my
Allow me
life
to submit Exhibit
Amadu
B.
Elizabeth.
The Wilson's bird of
Alright.
paradise has a
As
bare,
my wedded
bright
wife.
blue
As
scalp.
my wedded wife.
Not feathers,
In covenant
skin.
of marriage.
In
Blue
covenants
skin on top of
marriage.
its head
In
with a
covenant
pattern of
of
fine
a
black
marriage.
lines
In
like a
covenant
tiny
of a
topographic
marriage.
map of
I
some
lay down
imaginary
my
country.
life for you.
Its chest is an
I
iridescent
lay
turquoise
down my
green.
life for you.
Its back
That
is
the
deep
two
crimson.
of us may come
Its
together
tail feathers
That the
spiral
two of
into
us
two
may
elegant
come
curling
together.
wires
In one.
of deep
In
purple.
one.
New
In total,
entity.
this
New
bird
entity.
contains more distinct
the
vivid
lordship
colors
of the Lord
than almost
Jesus
any other
Christ.
creature on
Under
earth.
the Lord-
And it is tiny, smaller than your hand.
under the
To top it all off,
lordship of Lord
the
Jesus
male
Christ.
prepares a display area on the
Towards
forest floor,
fulfillment.
pulling away
Towards
leaves
the
and clearing the
fulfillment.
ground so
Towards the
sunlight hits it
fulfillment.
just
Towards
right,
the fulfillment.
because its colors
Of every
only achieve their
single
full
purpose of
iridescent
God.
effect in
Of
direct
every
light.
single purpose of
He literally sets the
For our
stage for his
lives.
own performance. David Attenborough
our
once said
lives.
that
For
discovering
our
new
lives.
species of birds
I
of
promise to
paradise
have you-
felt like finding
I
paintings
promise
in the
to have
rainforest.
you,
Would you
Looking at the
hold
Wilson's
you,
bird of
love
paradise,
you,
you
love
understand
you,
exactly
cherish
what
you,
he meant.
cherish you,
encourage you
encourage you
to our days and ministry on earth are fulfilled?
to
Quick
our
riddle.
days on
What has a bill
ministry
longer
on
than
earth
its own body?
fulfilled.
Are
Only
fulfilled.
one bird species in the entire world.
Are
The
fulfilled.
sword-billed
According to
hummingbird of the
God's holy
Andes
law
has a
and
beak
ordinance.
so extraordinarily
According to
long,
God's holy law
up to
and
4 inches,
and
that its body is actually shorter
This is
than
my
its bill.
solemn vow.
Proportionally, it would be like a human having a nose over 3
Solemn
feet long.
This is
The
my
bird has to
solemn
hold
vow.
its head tilted
Alright.
upward when perching just to
This is
keep
my
its bill
solemn
from
vow.
dragging. This bill evolved
Now,
entirely to feed
right.
from one specific flower. The giant datura and certain passion flowers with extremely long tubular corollas that
Alright.
no other
I,
bird can
your
reach.
government name.
The sword-billed hummingbird and these flowers evolved together
presence
over
of-
millions of years,
presence of the
each
Lord.
becoming more
In the presence of the
extreme,
Lord.
each depending on the other
entire
completely.
congregation
And the
This is
entire
called
congregation
co-evolution, and it is one of
Present
nature's
here
most
as a
perfect
witness.
love stories.
present
A
here
bird and a
as
flower
witness.
shaping each
Present
other
here
across
as a
millennia.
witness.
The flower grew
Here
longer.
as a witness.
The bird's bill
Join
grew to
my
match.
life to
The flower
your
grew
wife's
longer
name.
again.
Join my life
And so it
strength.
went. A conversation between species, written in anatomy, stretching back through millions of years of time.
Join my life. Travis.
Our
Some
government
birds
name.
sing.
Alright.
Some birds build. The magnificent riflebird dances. The male stands on a horizontal branch, spreads his wings into a perfect arc, a black half circle that frames his iridescent blue-green chest plate,
Alright.
and then he
As
moves.
my wedded
He sways
wife,
his head in
As my
smooth,
wedded
hypnotic
wife,
arcs from
in
side to
covenant of
side.
marriage,
His
In
wings
covenants
pulse.
of a marriage.
His
in
feathers catch the
covenant
light
of
and
a
shift
marriage.
from black
In
to electric
covenants
blue
of
to
a
emerald in a
marriage.
fraction
I
of a
lay down
second.
my life for
When
you.
a female lands nearby, he enfolds her in his
I lay
wings,
down my life
gently.
for you.
That the
The two of them
us may
briefly
come
become
together
one shape,
That the two
the
of
head
us
surrounded
will
by
come
his
together
shimmering arc
in
of
one.
feathers.
in one.
For a moment,
New
they are wrapped
entity.
together in
New
this little
entity.
universe of
Under the
blue and black.
lordship of the Lord
Then
Jesus
she either
Christ.
accepts him
Under the
or
Lord
flies away. If she flies away, he returns to
Under
his
the
branch.
lordship, the Lord
He
Jesus
resets.
Christ.
He spreads his wings
Towards
again,
the
and he
fulfillment.
dances again
Towards
every
the
day,
fulfillment.
every
Towards the
season,
fulfillment.
every year of his
Towards the
life.
fulfillment.
There is
Of every
something in
single
that
purpose of
persistence,
God.
in that
Of
willingness to be
every
fully
single
present,
purpose
to give everything
our
to each
lives.
performance regardless of outcome,
For
that I
our
find
lives.
strangely
For our
moving.
life.
I
But
promise
maybe
to
I am
have
just
you,
projecting onto
I
a
promise
bird.
to have you,
Maybe.
Would you?
Most
hold
birds
you,
sit on their
love
eggs,
you,
love
The
you,
Malayo
cherish
considers this
you,
an
cherish
inefficient
you,
use of time.
Encourage you.
This
encourage
large
you
black and
to
white bird
our
with a dramatic
days
bony casque
and
on its head
ministry on earth
belongs to a
of the
family of
field.
birds
to
called
our
megapodes.
days on
And
ministry
megapodes have
on
figured
earth
out
of
something
the field.
extraordinary.
Afifiu.
Why generate your own body heat when the earth will do it for you?
Few.
According to
Malayos
God's
dig into
holy law and
geothermally
ordinance.
heated ground
According to
near
God's
volcanic
holy
activity
law
or on sun-warmed
and
beaches
ordinance.
and bury their
This
eggs.
is my solemn
The eggs are
vow.
enormous relative to the bird's
Solemn
body,
vow.
up to 8 times the size of a
Solemn
chicken
vow.
egg.
This is
And
my
once they are
solemn
buried,
vow.
the parents
Alright.
leave. They do not
Now, this is
incubate,
my solemn
they do not
vow.
guard, they just walk
Now,
away.
the
The
bride.
chick develops alone underground, and when it hatches, it digs itself out, which can take 2 days, and emerges into the
Alright.
world fully
I
feathered.
and your government.
Within hours, it can
Happy.
fly. A newly hatched bird
In the
flying.
presence of
No practice,
in the presence
no
of the
parents,
Lord.
no
Presence
lessons.
of the Lord
It arrives
and
into
the
existence
entire
already
congregation.
capable,
and the entire
already complete,
congregation
which is a level of
presents
preparation
here
for
as a
life that,
witness.
honestly, I find a little
As a
humbling.
witness.
presents here as a witness. Join my life.
And then we come to the last one.
Join my
I
life
saved this
to-
one for last on purpose. The wandering albatross has the largest wingspan of any living bird,
Join my-
up to 11.5 feet
join
tip
my
to tip.
life.
It breeds on remote sub-Antarctic islands, but for most of its life it is in the air
government.
over the Southern Ocean, gliding, for years at a time. An albatross can travel nearly 47,000 miles in a single year. Some individuals have been tracked flying around the
Join my
entire
life
Southern
to
Ocean, around the
Ahmadu
entire bottom of the world in a matter of
All right.
weeks. They use a
As my
technique
wedded
called
wife.
dynamic soaring,
As my wedded
dipping
wife.
down near the
In
wave
covenant
surface to
of
gain
marriage.
speed from
In
the wind
covenant
gradient,
of a marriage.
then rising
In
and
covenant
gliding
of a
over
marriage.
and
In
over
covenant
in a
of
continuous
a
rhythm
marriage.
that requires
and lay
almost
down
no
my
energy.
life for you.
They can fly for hours without a single
I
wing
lay
beat.
down my
Young
life for
albatrosses
you.
spend
That
their
the two
first
of
5
us
to
may
7
come
years
together.
entirely
That
at
the
sea.
two of us
They
may
never
come
touch
together.
land,
In
they
one.
sleep on the
In
wing,
one.
they
New
drink
entity.
seawater.
New entity.
And then,
Under the
when they are
lordship
ready,
of the Lord
and
Jesus
only
Christ.
when they are
Under the
ready,
Lord-
they return to the island where they were born. They
Under
live
the
for 50,
lordship of the
60,
Lord Jesus
sometimes
Christ.
70 years.
Towards the
They mate for
fulfillment.
life.
Towards
An
the
albatross will court
fulfillment.
for
Towards
years,
the fulfillment.
dancing,
Towards
calling,
the
touching
fulfillment
bills with the
of
same
every
partner
single purpose
year
of
after
God.
year
Of
before they
every
finally
single
breed
purpose.
together. And when
For
they
our
do,
lives.
they raise one chick at a time, with devotion,
For our lives.
both parents
For
taking
our
turns
lives.
flying thousands of
I
miles
promise
to
to
bring
have
back
you.
food.
I promise to have
There is a
you,
famous poem
hold
by
you,
Samuel
hold
Taylor
you,
Coleridge,
love
The
you,
Rime of the
love
Ancient
you,
Mariner,
Cherish you.
in which the
cherish
killing of an albatross
encourage
brings
you,
catastrophe
encourage
upon a
you
ship's crew.
to our
Sailors
days
traditionally
and
considered
ministry on
albatrosses
earth
to be the
fulfilled.
souls of
To
lost
our
mariners,
days,
good omens,
ministry on
protected,
earth to fulfill.
sacred.
Afifiu.
There is something about an animal that has spent millions of years perfecting the
According
act
to
of
God's
free,
holy law and
effortless flight
ordinance.
over the
According to
wildest
God's
ocean on
holy
earth.
law
Something
and
about a
ordinance.
creature that lives that
This
long,
is my
loves
solemn
that
vow.
faithfully, and
This is my
wanders that
solemn
far,
vow.
that feels like it deserves
Solemn
the
vow.
weight of
This is my
myth.
soul member.
The wandering albatross is not
This is
just
my
a
soul
bird.
member.
It is, in some ways, the idea of freedom
Right.
made physical. A reminder that the world is enormous and wild and full of things that move through it with a grace we can barely
Alright.
imagine.
I and your government name.